Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is December 25th, 2023, and it's reported that several of Barcelona's future signings, like Mesinho and Claudio Echeverri, are currently slipping away from the club. Also, a report out of the German media are stating that Barcelona could be out of the future Champions League seasons. And finally, Bayern Munich are planning to increase their offer for our captain, Ronald Araujo. We have a lot to discuss. So let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo and I am officially back home from vacation. So starting tomorrow, it will be back to my regular daily YouTube edited videos. And of course, on Wednesday, we will have the regularly scheduled live stream at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I hope to see all of you there. Having said that, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you are looking to place any sports bet, make sure you hit the bet us. And if you are looking to buy any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you hit the Get Bag, where they are currently having some holiday sales. So make sure to check them out. Both links for Get Bag and Bet Us are down below in the description. Now let's begin real quick by wishing everybody who's watching a very Merry Christmas. Hopefully you're enjoying it with your family and your loved ones. And I hope that next year will be a much better year and all full of blessings, health, and anything else you have wished for. Now, also, I do have another announcement before I dive right into the news. I would like to apologize. This will be Barca News' first retraction since the channel was initiated. But on Saturday, I think it was December 23rd, I posted late at night that Barcelona had signed Claudio El Diablito Echeverri. It turned out that was not true. So I did delete that post and I am now officially making a retraction. I do apologize again. I have a source in Barcelona who I usually communicate with through WhatsApp. He's usually been a very reliable source of news. He texted me late at night that Barcelona had reached an agreement with River Plate and that they had signed Claudio Echeverri. And in my eagerness to share that amazing news with you, I went ahead and made a post in the community tab, went to sleep. The next day, I get a text message from the same source saying, apologizing, saying that that news was not true. So I went ahead and deleted that post. And now I'm officially retracting that. For any of you who saw that, Barcelona have not signed Claudio Echeverri. Again, I do apologize about that. In my eagerness to bring in that awesome news, I did not double confirm the news, so I do apologize. I've learned my lesson, and I'll make sure not to repeat it again. Now, having said that, let's talk about Claudio Echeverri, because right now the news is that Barcelona's two future signings, El Diablito Echeverri and Mesinho, are slipping away. Now, Barcelona, we're hoping to sign both Mesinho and Echeverri down the road in the future as two future signings. And while Barcelona was off for the Christmas holidays, some clubs took advantage of that and started making movements for both players. And now it seems that both players could slip away from Barcelona's grip. Now, let's talk about Claudio El Diablito Echeverri, who is 17 years old. He's an attacking midfielder who currently plays for River Plate. Of course, as I mentioned before, Barcelona were hoping to sign this player in the future. River Plate were hoping to renew his contract. He signed a contract with River Plate at the beginning of this year that goes all the way until the end of the next year. And he currently has a release clause worth 25 million euros. Now, what Barcelona were hoping to do was to offer more than what the release clause is actually worth, so more than 25 million euros, but they wanted to do that in payment plans. Now, River Plate were constantly reaching to Echeverri and his entourage, hoping to renew his contract. He wasn't answering any of those calls. He wasn't giving any response, which ultimately angered River Plate and made them take a hard stance that if Barcelona wanted to take Echeverri, they needed to pay the entire release clause. Now, Barcelona cannot afford to pay 25 million euros, the entire release clause up front in cash. And therefore, during the holidays, during the Christmas holiday, while Barcelona executives were off, Manchester City started to make movements for the Argentinian player. And now they're offering more than the release clause, more than 25 million euros up front in cash. And they're also offering to allow River Plate to keep Claudio Echeverri for one more year on loan, which of course is very much favorable for the Argentinian club. So Manchester City are currently in pole position to sign the Argentinian player. Now, the only way Barcelona could end up signing Echeverri, since they cannot afford to pay his release clause, is if the player puts his foot down and says, I only want to go to Barcelona, then it would force the hand of River Plate to negotiate with Barcelona, kind of like what happened with Vitor Roque, where he had offers from all the major clubs in Europe. So they were all willing to pay cash up front, much more than what Atletico Paranaense were asking for, but he put his foot down and said, I only want to go to Barcelona, and that's how Barcelona were able to sign him. So for now, Barcelona's only hope is for Echeverri, who has said in the past that he wants to play for Barcelona. So their only hope is for him to put his foot down and only negotiate with Barcelona. So there is hope, but of course, it's a small one. We are going to have to see how the player reacts to the pressure. Now, the other player that could be slipping away from Barcelona is, of course, Mesinho, the 16-year-old right winger. Could also play on the left wing and even through the middle, but mostly plays on the right wing. But Estevao William, or otherwise known as Mesinho, he plays for Palmeiras. Barcelona were also hoping to play to sign him down the road, but in the last few hours, several clubs have started to make moves for this player. We have clubs like Manchester City, Manchester United, PSG, and even Chelsea, who have offered Palmeiras to pay his entire release clause up front in cash, which is worth 60 million euros. Now, if Barcelona cannot afford the 25 million euros for Echeverri, they definitely can't afford the 60 million euros for Estevao William. And again, just like Echeverri, the only hope for Barcelona to sign Estevao William is that the player puts his foot down and says, I only want to go to Barcelona, which of course is a big ask of the young player who has said in the past on several occasions that it is his dream to play for Barcelona. Now, Mesinho's father a few months ago did a tour through Europe. He visited Manchester, the city of Manchester, visited the facilities of Manchester City and Manchester United. He also went to Paris to visit the facilities of PSG, and then he ended up in Barcelona, where he visited the facilities of Barcelona and even visited the stadium, the Camp Nou's renovation project. And then he said at the moment that it was his son's dream to play in Barcelona, and now after his tour, it was also his choice for his son to play in Barcelona. So that is playing in favor of Barcelona, but again, the only way that Barcelona will be able to sign Mesinho is if the player withstands the pressure and says, I want to stay. I only want to go to Barcelona, kind of like what Vitor Roque is doing. So unfortunately, because of Barcelona's financial situation, the two signings could slip away, unless, of course, they both insist on only going to Barcelona. So we are going to have to see how it ends up playing out. Now, on to another big news, because a German media outlet reported that Barcelona could be excluded of the Champions League as soon as next season, 2024-2025. Now, this report goes into detail saying that Barcelona could be in violation of the financial fair play rules because, of course, last season they activated those economic levers where they sold a lot of the club's property in exchange for money, and that's how Barcelona were able to report kind of like a positive outcome or a positive net cash flow, and that's what allowed it to kind of make the several signings. Well, it seems that under the rules of the Champions League, you cannot count the sale of the club's property or the economic levers. You can only count the sale of players or anything related to football itself. So maybe, the sale of tickets or merchandise. So according to Champions League rules, Barcelona could be in violation of the financial fair play rules for adding those money that they made off the sale of the economic levers. And if that's the case, UEFA could opt to exclude Barcelona out of the Champions League as soon as the upcoming season, 2024-2025. Now, in my opinion, I think this is something that UEFA is doing to pressure Barcelona after that announcement by the court legalizing the Super League. So this could be a way of UEFA kind of trying to threaten Barcelona, put pressure on Barcelona to withdraw the Super League or to not move forward with it. I don't think UEFA would be dumb enough to move forward and exclude Barcelona. And I say that because Barcelona is the most watched team in La Liga. It's one of the most watched teams in the Champions League. It's one of the most watched teams all around the world. So if UEFA were to exclude Barcelona, I think they would lose a lot of money. So I don't think they're dumb enough. But again, you never know with UEFA. they have done some pretty dumb things in the past. Now, speaking of Barcelona's viewership, I came across this chart that was a very interesting chart. And this is a study that was done, and I'll make this bigger for you, which is the most viewed teams by city. So it studied every city. What are the people in that city? What's the team that the most people in that city are viewed? And the interesting thing about this chart, and kind of goes to highlight what I said right now, that Barcelona is one of the most viewed teams in the world. But if you look at Spain, and it's on the bottom, in the city of Barcelona, the most viewed team is FC Barcelona. Of course, that's very obvious. You don't need a study to tell you that. Then you go to the bottom, and there's Sevilla. And apparently in Sevilla, the most viewed team there is FC Barcelona. That was a little bit surprising to me. You would expect maybe to be Sevilla or to be Real Betis. But nonetheless, maybe not completely surprising, because after all, FC Barcelona is one of the biggest teams in the world. But then you go up to Madrid, and this is where it was really, really shocking to me. But apparently in the city of Madrid, the most viewed team is FC Barcelona. So yes, in Madrid, more people watch Barcelona than they do Real Madrid or Atletico de Madrid, which is absolutely shocking, which just goes to highlight the huge reach that Barcelona has, not just in the world, not just in Europe, but even in Spain itself and in the city of Madrid, which is absolutely bonkers. And this is why I have to say that I don't believe that UEFA would be dumb enough to exclude Barcelona. Now, on to the more news, because it seems that Bayern Munich are planning to up their offer for Ronald Araujo in the upcoming summer. Now, I talked about this in previous videos. Bayern Munich, we're hoping to offer 80 million euros for Ronald Araujo during the winter transfer market. Of course, Barcelona's stance is pretty clear. Araujo's not for sale. If they want him, they have to pay his 1 billion euro release clause. Ronald Araujo also made it very clear on several occasions that he doesn't want to leave Barcelona. He's very happy in Barcelona, especially as the captain. And it seems because of his insistence in staying in Barcelona, Bayern Munich are no longer going to try to sign him in the winter transfer market. Instead, they're going to try to sign him in the summer transfer market. And instead of offering 80 million euros, they are going to try to offer 100 million euros or maybe even more. Now, I don't think that's going to sway many people either way. Barcelona's stance, I think, is going to be still the same. Araujo's untouchable. If you want him, pay 1 billion euros. And I think Ronald Araujo is not going to be willing to leave, because after all, it was revealed that Manchester United offered him double the salary that Barcelona were offering, and he still said no. So I don't see him getting swayed in the summer. But of course, the season is long. We'll see how it plays out. But I highly doubt that Ronald Araujo is going anywhere. Now, speaking of going and coming, let's talk about Vitor Roque, because we now have an official date. Well, Barcelona are going to unveil the Brazilian player. He will land in Barcelona on December 27th after spending Christmas with his family. On December 28th, he will officially join his new teammates in training. He will be available to debut on January 4th against Las Palmas. Of course, it doesn't mean that he will debut. He will be available, though, and his official presentation will be on January 3rd. Now, I have to say, I'm very, very excited for the arrival of Vitor Roque. I think he's coming at a time where Barcelona really need him. We need some goals with Lewandowski not being able to find the back of the net. I think the arrival of Vitor Roque is going to help with that in both ways, because Vitor Roque could provide us those goals that we're missing, but also I think it would be a good added pressure to Lewandowski to start scoring, because when you have someone who can threaten your position on the first team, I think that could definitely help the Polish striker hopefully start finding the back of the net. Now, I will end today's live stream real quick talking about Andreu Trinidade. I talked about him a few days ago. He's a 22-year-old pivot who currently plays in Brazil for Fluminense. Deco is trying to sign him on a 6-month loan during this winter transfer market. And I just wanted to highlight real quick, because Fluminense did play the final of the Club World Cup against Manchester City, which of course Manchester City won. Congratulations to them and Pep Guardiola. But I wanted to highlight how phenomenal this player is, because he had, during that match against Manchester City, he had a 99% pass accuracy. And despite him playing against Manchester City, who kept a high press throughout all the match, he only lost 2 balls, which just goes to show how promising this player is and how good eye Deco has for players. So hopefully we can sign him on loan. We'll see. That will all depend on the financial fair play rules. But of course, if we can bring him, then why not? So that is all the news for today. I will be making a second video later on today because there's a lot of news. I didn't make any videos this past weekend because I was busy with the holidays. So we will be making another video later tonight. It will be another short live stream. Again, I'm back at home, back to the regularly scheduled videos. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes, your subscriptions, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace, Barça.